Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with the review for Love and Marriage Huntsville. I know, so late, you guys. This weekend, a lot was just going on, and work today has made me be even later. I mean, work is so busy, you guys. But we ain't gonna complain. We just gonna get to the review. Let's get to it, shall we? So the show actually starts with the Crime Stoppers segment. Okay, apparently there was a woman that was seen that looks just like Kiki, you know, Tisha's cousin, who was trying to steal from like the Dollar General store. Her and her son was in there. She had a whole bunch of shit in her purse. She was trying to walk out the store, and security stopped her before she could leave. They took everything out of her purse, but her son had a lock in his hand, and she told the son to keep the lock, and then they made a quick dash for the car and got the fuck out the parking lot, okay? And they had a whole Crime Stopper segment about it, basically because she stole a lock, okay? So that's the sensationalism that starts the show. Now, let's jump over to Tiffany. So Tiffany, she's had her baby and she's at home, and her first visitor, you know, from the show anyway, is Mel. Mel's going to be the first one from the show to see the baby. Little baby Ace. She told Mel that she was the first to see him. You know, Mel's just like, oh my God, I knew I was special. Hi, baby. It's been so long since I seen a baby this little. They pretty much get to the shit right away. She sits down with Tiffany. You know, she asks Tiffany how she doing, and you know, Tiffany says she fine. And then let's get to the business here. What's going on with Kiki? Kiki wrapped up with our brands and everything. You know, Mel just laughed at first. She was just like, girl, this girl, like, I mean, we wasn't even gonna try to warm up to it, huh? We just getting started, huh? Okay. Tiffany was just like, I think that she needs help or something. Like, what is going on? I'm watching this segment on TV and I see her in the parking lot and they say she stole a lock and all this, and like, what's happening here? Like, are you concerned about the fact that she's tied in with all the rest of us, you know, being on this show? Like, her brand kind of gets pulled in with our brands, and like, is she tarnishing this? Like, are you concerned about this? And all Mel can really say is just like, well, you know, you can't believe everything that come across your screen. Okay, she's innocent until she's proven guilty. But Tiffany is still like, are the people gonna be questioning her, and they're gonna be questioning us, like our brand? Nobody is really questioning the rest of the group because of what Kiki did. If anybody is watching this show, then they know that Kiki is separate pretty much from the group in that way, and that we know that Kiki has a problem. So no, Tiffany, you were just asking these questions to be facetious and messy. But Mel said, you know, it's just as simple as this. If you feel like Kiki gonna be messing up your brand, then don't hang around her, don't talk to her. It's that easy. Do not be around the girl. But otherwise, you know, at least Mel didn't feed into that shit with Tiffany, because we already know how Tiffany can be. Anyway, enough of that. Tiffany is going to be having a baby reveal, okay? And she's going to invite the group, maybe just the girls. And maybe she can, since Mel is here, she can do a video and send it out to everybody, and Mel can record it for you. And Mel was like, fine, girl, I'm good at recording stuff. So, you know, she do a real quick makeshift video invitation to everybody, telling them to come meet little baby Ace, okay? And, you know, one take. I was like, I mean, how hard is it to say, come meet the baby on Saturday? Now, let's jump over to Courtney and Stormy. So we see Courtney go and talk to Marceau at Black, because Courtney said that he need to figure out what exactly is Marceau's problem. He feels that Marceau has misdirected anger. I said, no, Marceau is just an asshole. It's no misdirected anything. So Marceau was just like, hey, what's up, Courtney? You know, good to see you. And Courtney was like, I'm not here for fun. I want to talk about what happened at the damn Black Expo. Well, from what he heard, Stormy didn't pay $100. Courtney was like, nobody said anything about no $100. Marceau was just like, well, everybody was supposed to pay. And Courtney was like, well, when was you guys going to say something? Because was that on paper? Like, when we all sat down and talked about it, like, nobody mentioned $100. And Marceau was just like, Courtney, it was on the website. Nigga, since when do we run business off of websites? Like, I'm supposed to go and check a contract that's on the public website for everybody to see about this $100? Nigga, don't you think that it would have made sense for you guys to mention this $100 to us when you asked us to speak in it? We didn't even ask to be in this shit. You guys asked us How hard is it to say, oh, and it's going to be $100 entrance fee? You didn't say nothing because you had no intentions. Your ass now got dollar signs in your eyes, and I see that they've changed this because remember, when this first happened, nobody said anything about it being so many people that all of a sudden they were charging $100. And at first, Marceau was just saying that everybody was supposed to pay $100. Tisha was saying everybody except for the group from the show. Okay, but now it's turned into they decided to have the money charged after they realized how many people was there. So you see how they kind of tweak this on the break. They do shit like this. It's very subtle, but if you paying attention, you would notice. But anyway, Courtney, you know, he's there to put Marceau in his place. You know, he feels like Marceau is always in the women business. Why you always worried about the women? And Marceau was just like, this coming from a man who literally makes hair products for women for his business. And Courtney was like, nigga, you know what I'm talking about. That's business. All right? I'm talking about the women business. When they be arguing and shit, you be right up in the middle of the shit. And Marceau was just thinking that this is all so funny. I was actually offended for Courtney because I felt like Marceau was trying to like be condescending to him, which is Marceau's regular act because he usually reserves this type of acting for women. But hey, Courtney gets it today. Okay, Courtney was just like, you know, nigga, you funny acting. Here, you know what? He gives the bartender $100 tip. Yeah, that's your tip. You keep that. Ain't nobody over here fretting over no fucking $100. It's the point, you know. And Marceau was just still like, oh, over there. I was just like, I mean, I know Marceau is only doing it for the show, but he still gets on my nerves. He's very good at rubbing us the wrong way. And like Courtney said, the point is Marceau is a bitch. Was a bitch, still a bitch, always gonna be a bitch. So later on, Courtney tells Stormy about it. They talking about the business. Everything is going much better. They're getting their shipping times shorter. So that is going well. But he tells her about the conversation that he had with Marceau. How he pulled up at Black and told him he didn't appreciate the way he was talking to his wife. And, you know, always in the women's business. She was just like, oh, you did that? She was like, you didn't even seem like you was mad. And he was like, I wasn't mad. I was just telling him. And talk to my woman crazy. You know, you do that shit with your wife, but you're not going to talk to my wife like that. So then she started telling him about how her and Tisha had the little, you know, run in when they all sat down for lunch that time. And she was just like, she didn't understand what was going on because originally when her and Tisha was talking at the expo, Tisha was on her side, you know, felt that Marceau was tripping trying to ask for this $100. But by the time they sat down to talk about it, now all of a sudden Tisha mad at Stormy for the way that she was speaking to Marceau. And let me just be clear. Letitia was on Stormy's side. Letitia did think that Marceau was tripping. And even when Letitia had the conversation with Marceau, she told him that he was tripping. Okay? But Stormy was tripping at that lunch that they had. Now, Stormy had a right to be irritated, but not to the level that she was. And for her to go off on Letitia when they was trying to have the conversation, well, I guess because Letitia called herself putting Stormy in her place, like the way that she was talking to Marceau. And bitch, you're not gonna talk to me about that either, okay? First of fucking all, the whole point is ain't nobody said nothing about no $100. Clearly, we got $100, so it's not like we can't afford it. It's the point, okay? But you're not going to be talking to me crazy. Your husband not going to talk to me crazy, and you not fixing to put me in my place. But still, Stormy was overreacting. So Stormy is the reason why shit got blown up even more. But Letitia was tripping because she was trying to put Stormy in her place for her wrong-ass husband. So I need Letitia to be truthful with herself. Or what exactly are you mad about? Are you mad at Marceau? Or are you mad at Stormy? Stormy tells Courtney that Tiffany and Lou finally had the baby and that she's about to have the baby, introduction or whatever. It's for the girls and that she's going to go. Actually, Stormy is the one that's planning this baby reveal, Stormy said. I was just like, how is Stormy planning Tiffany's thing and they barely got a relationship? Like, this is so funny. So funny. It's so funny to see like the plot holes now because they're getting bigger. So Stormy was just like, she ain't really sure that Kiki is gonna come Okay, because Kiki was on Crime Stoppers. She's down there where the Home Depot is. I said, well, she was actually in the Dollar General, I think, Stormy. But I guess maybe it's in the same parking lot. But she was down there stealing. They trying to figure out what the problem was. Stormy was like, well, that's her story to tell. You know, she feel bad for Kiki, you know, having her shit all blasted all over the place like that. That ain't cool either. Stormy can't fix Kiki problems, but she do feel bad for Kiki. But honey, they had the picture of Kiki in that parking lot. Like she was about to do a Thelma and Louise out there. I was like, poor Kiki, child. How embarrassing. And then speaking of Kiki, we see Mel go over to Kiki's house. You know, I just wanted to check on my girl and see if she's okay. No, she's obviously not okay, Mel. You saw her on Crime Stoppers, okay? So no, she's not okay. But baby, Kiki would let you think differently. Hey, man, how you doing? Girl, come on in. Child, they gave Kiki the crackhead edit. I was just like, y'all ain't right. Why y'all do this girl like this? Because when she sit down with Mel, she ain't saying nothing about the Crime Stoppers, which is the biggest elephant in the room. Kiki got all kind of conversation about everything. I just got out the hospital. And Mel was like, girl, the hospital? I was having intense pains all in my back. She said it was so bad that she had to have the ambulance come and, you know, all of this. And Mel is just sitting there listening to her. But I'm telling you why I said that they gave her the crackhead edit, because she was going on and on. She was talking real fast. Her voice was real high and shrill. You know, she was then, you know, when I went over there, I was looking up at the top and I saw the people and I was looking. I was just like, you guys are so wrong. Why are y'all doing Kiki like this? I mean, the girl probably has a pill problem or whatever, but... And the whole time that she's talking, Mel got this worried look on her face, sort of like, oh, God. You know how it is when you're addicted to drugs cousin come and they trying to turn their life around, but they ain't quite made it all the way. They've been going to church, but it's still kind of fucked up, but you bump into them at church and you see them and they almost right, but not quite. That's how Mel's face was. She was looking at Kiki like that. So Mel was telling us in the confessional, you know, how, you know, she feels bad for Kiki. She's trying to do the best that she can, but she goes on and brings up the Crime Stoppers for Kiki, because we ain't fixing to sit here and talk in circles and you don't bring up this damn arrest that you had. And Mel tells her how Tiffany is worried about their brands, how this is going to mess like all of them up. Kiki was like, accused or convicted? Okay, because there's a difference there. They show us on the screen that as of today, Kiki still hasn't been charged for anything, which is interesting. If she hasn't been charged, then why was she on Crime Stoppers, and why is everybody making a big deal about it? So like, was Crime Stoppers a real segment? Was they really talking about it down there in Huntsville? Like, what's going on here? Okay, but yeah, Kiki was just like, I ain't went to jail, I ain't did nothing. Okay, they're not gonna charge her for this lock. She left all the rest of the stuff there, and I guess Dollar General was just like, forget it. But they about to give Kiki a hard time this season, trust me. Now let's jump over to Martel. Martel is at his home. You know, he's renting from Chris. So Chris Fletcher comes over, and you can tell that it is a little tense. Martel is trying to act like everything is okay, but Chris got that look on his face like, nigga, I want to talk to you. So as soon as he come to the door, you know, and Chris tried to come in, Martel was just like, oh, wait, hold on. Do you have your booties? And Chris was like, no, nigga, I ain't got no booties. And he was, oh, you can't come in here. You know you need to have, you take your shoes off. Chris was like, no, I'm not taking my shoes off. I ain't got no damn booties. You got some booties? You don't want people to walk in your house with shoes on, and you need to provide booties. No, Martel don't have no booties. Okay, well then nigga move. And Martel trying to make small talk. You know I'm having a house built right down there, not too far from where you are right now. Chris was like, oh, is that right? Oh, okay, good. Okay, yeah, nigga, I didn't like the fact that you subpoenaed us. Me and my wife. Okay, because I already told you that I wasn't picking those sides. And Martel, oh no. Wasn't trying to have anybody pick any sides. I was just, you know, Martel just wanted everybody that knew him and knew Mel, you know, to get up there and just tell the truth. If it was going to help him, fine. If it was going to hurt him, fine. But he just wanted people that knew them best to tell the truth. That's all it was. Okay, well, Chris and his wife didn't like that shit. So anyway, Chris is there to tell Martel that it's time for him to move, that the house is sold, okay? And Martel was just like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna move as soon as I find a place to go. And Chris was just like, no, you cannot do that. You gotta go now. And Martel was just like, I mean, what you gonna do? You gonna tell me and my 5 kids that we can't stay in this house no more? You mean as a friend, I can't stay longer? Chris was like, nigga, first the fuck all, I told you a long time ago that I was selling this house. You done stayed in this house. It was on the market for 8 months. Now, I told you back then that I was selling it. That meant for your ass to try to find some place to live back then. Okay? And Martel was like, but you already know that I can't find a place because there's no places for sale. That's why he's getting this place built. That's why he don't have it. So anyway, Chris was just like, that's not my problem. My problem is you need to get out this house. And he was like, all right, I'm going to get out as soon as I find a place. No, you got to go in 2 weeks. Martel was like, nigga, you mean to tell me you about to put me? Yes. And this is exactly the reason. Remember, I always tell you how landlords got the hardest damn job, because it be tenants like Martel that take advantage. Chris was like, he been in this house. He know we friends, so he been taking advantage. I've been stretching it out. These people ready to move in the fucking house. Okay, so in 2 weeks, get your ass out the house. And Martel think that's pretty messed up. It's not messed up when you've almost had a year's worth of time to get you a new house. Even if you get in a place built, that means get you a temporary residence until your home gets finished. That don't mean take advantage of this man. This man trying to sell his house. Okay, this is a seller's market right now. So yeah, you got to get out, Martel. Why he don't have no good sense? Hell, he work in that damn industry. He should know if anybody does. But you know, Martel is a user. He don't. Anyway, Chris was like, you got to get out. I said, find you an Airbnb, Martel. Somebody will let you stay there for a weekly fee. And then lastly, you guys, jumping over to Kimmy. So we see Kimmy. She's going over to visit Letitia. You know, Letitia and Marcel, they moved into their, third or fourth place that they've had since they've been on the show. They still working on the compound. And Kimmy asked Letitia, like, any time limit? I mean, do you guys know when exactly you going to be moving into the house? And Letitia was just like, nope, I sure don't. She didn't even try to lie or make up nothing, just nope. And Kimmy was like, girl, you better than me. Hey, how y'all adapting to it? Well, they trying to get used to it. It's only a 3-bedroom house. So they, you know, the kids, some of them got to share rooms and all of that, but they figuring it out. Kimmy, thank goodness, is finished with all of her cancer treatment, and she's feeling pretty much almost back to 100. So she's feeling really good. She just has to make sure she goes to her doctor's appointments, and, you know, they stay up on it. So good. I am so happy to hear that Kimmy made it through, you guys, because that was a tough diagnosis for her to be fighting. So good for her. So then they start talking about the conversation that they had with Tiffany and Kiki. And Letitia is just fed up. She feels like Stormy and Tiffany was both criticizing her. She was just like, you know, I was just like, who y'all think y'all is? Tisha can't understand why Tiffany's so mad. She don't even know what Tiffany does for a living. And Kimmy was like, yeah, she ain't really clear of that either. And then as far as Stormy is concerned, she's not really sure where the energy came from. Well, I explained to you guys why Stormy was acting the way that she was, even though she was way too turned up. Stormy should have had that conversation with Tisha without it just going to wherever it went. But Letitia was just like, I'm done with all of them. Well, you know that they got this baby reveal coming up, you know, and Letitia was like, oh shit, I forgot about the baby reveal. Oh, I guess she gonna have to think about going. She ain't really sure she gonna go to that mess. They also talk about the Kiki segment on Crime Stoppers. And Letitia says that there's nothing else that she can do for Kiki, that she feels like, you know, if Kiki is back on the pills and everything, this is just something that Kiki is going to have to tackle on her own, like Letitia's done. So Letitia had been saying this since the beginning of the season. So I'm wondering if they had an idea that maybe Kiki was about to be back on drugs or whatever. If she fully had ever gotten off of them to begin with, because that's what they said that she was having the problems with. But yeah, so anyway, Letitia is fed up with Stormy and Tiffany. Later on, we see Kimmy go on a bike ride with Maurice. And let me just say, before we even get into this segment, that it's so very clear that Kimmy and Maurice are playing up their storyline, this storyline, for the cameras, because, you know, all that shit that happened at the beginning of the season when Maurice did that interview with Carlos King and said that he needs sex physically in order to get through his day, and how bad of a look that was. And then he went on TGIF with Kimmy and they never, you know, he didn't apologize and all that. It was such a bad look. that is something that I think that they would probably shy away from on the show if they didn't want to keep talking about it, you know. And so the fact that these two are actually arguing about this on camera is like, okay, you guys are really playing this up, because it's an uncomfortable conversation, first of all. And Maurice is still not trying to understand what Kimmy is saying. Kimmy is telling him that, you know, she still don't really feel like having sex with him. You know, she is on all these different medications that the doctors have given her, and some of the side effects is, you know, possible lower sex drive. So she's trying to get herself back together, and he tells her that it's all in her mind. Now, if you trying to get away from the social media trolls and all of the other, you know, motherfuckers that will come after you on social media, why would you say something like that on a show that's shown nationally like this? That it's all in her mind. This woman just finished cancer treatment. Was cancer in her mind too? You know? So he's purposely being obtuse. He's purposely being an ass. And I can't actually believe that Kimmy is playing into this. And you can tell that Kimmy was uncomfortable, that because normally Kimmy is a little bit more authentic. Kimmy and Maurice are the more authentic of the groups on this show. But the fact that Kimmy was talking so much, because I felt like she was uncomfortable because she knew what she was doing. You know, but she was just like, you know, so I went to the doctor, and the doctor gave me the medication, and the medication says that the side effects is this. And, you know, I know that we said that you wanted to have more sex, and that I couldn't, you know, I wasn't really enjoying it. And that I was just like, girl, you talking too much. You done already gave up that you feel uncomfortable with this. Okay. Pandering to the audience, playing up this storyline that's not really, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not true, but now I feel like they're exploiting the storyline for the show. And, you know, they're just like, we'll just take it. Because Maurice had to have seen, after all of the backlash that he got, that it would be stupid of him to get on this show. And I do believe that Maurice is smarter than this. I know many of you guys don't believe that, but I actually do believe that he has more sense than that. And even if he didn't, his wife would. To get on the show and still talk about this shit, yeah, you guys are doing this on purpose. And I'm a little disappointed, because I promise you I didn't see, well, it's not that I didn't see them doing this, but this is just, it's not their normal, like, I just feel like they're acting. That's it. And when they start feeling like they are 100% acting on this show, that's when this show is really going to be tanked. Because that's been the saving grace of Huntsville, is the fact that it's the most realistic of reality shows that we have right now. But if Huntsville has jumped the shark and is starting to feel like that's what they have done, then the show is going to plummet. Mark my words. They're going to have to do something else. Now, it's going to be sensational. The rest of the season is going to be big, because all this scandal about Kiki and everything. And now they're trying to say that Letitia cheated. You know good and fucking well that girl ain't cheated on no damn Marcel. I mean, you would have to be a fool if you really believe that Letitia would do something like that. That girl doesn't strike me. That she may have done it before she been on, you know, became a reality show star on this show, but she got too much shit to lose now. She ain't fixing to do that. They can do this mess on this show all they want. I know that we know what to believe and what not to believe, and that's definitely just But anyway, I'm gonna watch. We gonna see. But I'm telling you, they coming with the bullshit for real. All right, you guys, that is it. Let me get on off of here, get these edited, and up to you guys. I apologize again that they are late. Work. Anyway, make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars.